Hey, this is Edward Stevens again from the Stevens Group at Reese Nichols. Today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit differently than normally. We're going to talk a little bit about real estate, but I want to talk about an observation that I have. And this is just for anywhere in the Kansas City area. It's come to my attention, I've shared it with teammates, that we're in a really weird time right now. We're kind of like in the same kind of economy that we were in when COVID kicked off. It feels that way to me. Let me back up. I'm a pretty intuitive guy, and I'm very dialed into like people's emotions, and I just read into these things because as a real estate agent, as a commission-only salesperson, you have to be able to read people. And the readings that I'm getting on the average person is that they're in trouble. They're unsure of what's going on economically in America and in their own household. They don't know what's going on. And I also am noticing there's a lot of people who've stopped striving to excellence. There's a lot of people out there that have just started coasting in their job. And so this is for those of you who maybe observe this as well and don't want to be like those people. Nothing wrong with those people, victims of circumstances, okay? But for those of you who still need to survive, you still need to take care of the people that you're around that love you, you still have bills to pay, and you're not able to quit, okay, I want to make this video for you. So what I'm noticing right now, whether it's I'm going to go get something to eat, and I'm going to go to the grocery store, I'm going to go deal with my car, I'm going to deal with somebody who wants to buy a home, I'm going to talk to some contractor about something. It takes four times as much energy as it did 6 months ago to get the same thing done. And there's maybe different reasons for that, but in my experience and in talking with other people who witnessed this firsthand, it's going to take about 4 times as long. It's going to take about 4 times as many phone calls, 4 times as much negotiation, 4 times as much energy to get things done. Even simple things, right? Even everyday things. Even if you're not a real estate agent, you're just living your life, you're working your 9-to-5 job, you're going to feel the friction of people not working anymore. Now, they may be at work, but they're not working anymore. The system is not working the way it used to work. This isn't a political video. This is just an observation from me that people are grinding to a halt. The gears that keep our society moving are grinding right now. There's sand in the gears. And you should know that as somebody who's going to try to stay positive and you're going to try to get something done in this world, that you're going to have to expend 4 times more energy just to get the same amount of productivity out of your day that you used to get easily. You have to be prepared for that. I've been caught off guard by this to a large extent for maybe the last 1.5 months, 2 months. I underestimated just how much energy it takes just to get things done. How many calls it takes, how many recalls it takes, how many emails, how many texts, how many calls, how many in-person visits, how much following up, and how much it's going to take to be able to get things over the finish line, and personal or professionally. Now, the flip side to that is that most people, A, don't recognize that, and B, if they do recognize that, they don't have the energy to make it happen. And because that threshold is now so high for being able to be productive in our society and get the things done that we need to get done to make a living, to make our dreams come true, to take care of the people that are around us, if you're one of those people that has what it takes, you're a productive, you're a creative problem solver, you're the kind of person that doesn't give up, you're going to pull way ahead of your competition. If you're in business, you're going to pull way ahead of your competition. If you are even if you're in a position where you're probably like you're at a job, where most people are idling, if you can be that one person to exhibit 4 times as much energy and get things done, and the rest of the team's not getting things done, like you're going to pull ahead in that company. In the real estate world, that translates also. If you're looking for a home, you're going to have 4 times more difficulty with your real estate agent, 4 times more difficulty with your lender, 4 times more difficulty with your title company, 4 times more difficulty with your seller, 4 times more difficulty with your whole transaction. Even if you're using the best people, because even the best people can't do it alone. Your best real estate agent can't do it alone. It's a team effort. It's a village effort, and we're all affected by this. So if you are one of these people that's out shopping right now, your competitive advantage should be that you're willing to be patient, in the sense that it's going to take longer to get what you want, but you have to be willing to push harder than any other buyers in the market. Okay? The benefit is that if you do that, you will get concessions from sellers. You're going to get concessions from sellers more now than you were 6 months ago, probably even a year ago. I think this is going to be the season of seller concessions. Now, it doesn't mean every single seller is going to fire sale their house, but it just means that the climate that we're in, there's a lot of sellers who have to sell that are putting their home on the market. Maybe they moved in the spring, they missed the peak of selling, and so they're going to sell it now. You've got winter setting in. You have a lot of things, and on top of all that, you have the economic climate that we're in right now. And some sellers may capitulate and say, you know what, we're willing to come off the price of this house 10%. We might be willing to sell this $200,000 house for $180,000 because that's just how they feel. Now, you might have to do more negotiating than you've ever had to do, or any of your friends or relatives have ever had to do when they've bought houses. So you need to have an agent, obviously, that's willing to do that with you. Or if you're not using an agent, then you just need to be willing to do that yourself. You need to know how to how to go about negotiating, and you need to be ready for it. But there's a general productivity downturn right now, just market-wide. The other thing is most people are going to tell you no. Most agents are going to tell you no. Most lenders are going to tell you no. Most title companies are going to tell you no. Most sellers are going to tell you no. If you're a seller, most buyers are going to tell you no. Most people are going to tell you no. More so now than anywhere probably since COVID kicked off. You need to be prepared to get a lot of no's, and you need to be able to sharpen your sales skills so that those no's don't affect you mentally too much, because you're going to get a lot of them. And if you're a real estate agent, then that's going to be important for you as well. So I know as a real estate agent, there's a lot of times people come to me and they say, hey, now's not the right time. This and that reason, and interest rates and blah, blah, blah. There's always a reason where people are going to tell you no. So you just need to be prepared for that. A thing that helps me always keep a positive attitude is reminding myself the following. I heard somebody say this at a seminar once, as of like a personal productivity seminar or something. They said the solution is in the environment. The solution is in the environment. So we are in an environment right now where it's difficult. And if you don't know that, you're probably living under a rock, especially if you're in real estate. So if you can convince yourself that the solution is not impossible to grasp, but it's actually something that is around us, you're going to be far more likely to find it. You're going to be far more likely to implement it, and you're going to be more successful than your competitors. I always tell myself the solution is in the environment, and it helps me stay creative. It helps me stay positive whenever things are going sideways. If I have a transaction that's going bad, or if I have a relationship that's on the rocks, or if I have a financial question, financially things are weird. Like, I always remind myself the solution is in the environment. If interest rates are high, there's got to be some corresponding, benefit. every metric can't be bad. When something is bad, there's got to be something else that's good. It's just a matter of you being able to find what that good thing is and be able to capitalize on it. Some things that help me, and this really isn't probably tied to real estate anymore, so real estate section over. I would recommend some of the things that have been working for me recently to anybody who's having trouble with, if you're having trouble with depression, if you're having trouble with, trying to stay motivated, if you're having trouble getting things done during the day, here's what's working for me. Number one, I try to stay quiet, and I try to stay in a place that's quiet. So listening to like loud music and listening to podcasts and listening to things like that when I need to unplug is actually more beneficial. I like the idea of listening to podcasts while I drive, and I like the idea of listening to music and stuff while I'm driving or when I'm working and that sort of thing. But in these times that we're in, it's easier for me to unplug from those things and just kind of just heal myself. So you might be somebody who might benefit from that too, just kind of keeping quiet and healing, the silence is golden thing. And the next thing I do is I get very conscientious about clutter. So it just takes a mental toll on me. And this is really about like mental health. Your mental health is like of pinnacle importance, peak performance right now, because we don't know how long this is going to last. We don't know how long it's going to be difficult, economically, and we don't know how long it's going to be before things turn around. But you have to stay sane and you have to stay healthy in the meantime. So, another thing that helps me is just to totally declutter, like throw stuff away, get rid of a lot of stuff, and clear out rooms, clear out things that I'm not using anymore, because it stresses me out to see stuff that is just taking up space. When I see things laying around, it brings my attention away from what it is I'm trying to do. And usually if I can concentrate and get things done, and I can at the end of my day see that the things that I concentrated on got done, that's going to put me in a better place mentally than if my energies and my attention was just diffused into a million things all day. So maybe that would help you as well. And the last thing that I would say is what's been helping me is I try to avoid people that are negative. And there's so much negativity out there right now. And this goes not only for people, but the things that you listen to, the things that you see on TV, if you watch TV, or YouTube or whatever, the things you see on social media even, now would be the time to really go through and filter those things and make sure that the information that's coming to you is positive, because it's overwhelmingly negative right now. And if you can avoid that negative information, there's a better chance that you're going to have more time to focus on what's important to you in your day, in your life, and you can get that stuff done, and you can take it one day at a time, and you can start to build on your successes, and eventually you're not going to be so caught up in how difficult things may be in Kansas City or in America right now. So this is my take. Maybe there's some people out there that might say, I don't know what you're talking about. Everything is groovy. Everything is amazing right now. I'm on top of the world. I've never had a better year. I've never had a better week than I'm having now. That's cool. But I'm telling you from personal experience, like I'm seeing shifts in people's the way people are behaving on the clock and off the clock. So if you're seeing that same shift and you don't want to become a statistic, then try to implement some of those things that might be helpful to you. And I'm obviously very interested in what your thoughts are on this topic. Do you see people behaving the way that I've described? Do you have any ideas or do you have any tactics on how you are staying positive during this time and how you're staying successful during this time and how you're staying focused? I'd be interested to know, because if you know something that's going to help me, then it's going to help other people too, and I'll share it, and hopefully you can share it. It's Edward Stevens with the Stevens Group at Reese Nichols. Look forward to seeing you one day at the closing table.